Welcome to Kenect the Dots, a podcast where we unlock the stories that connect each and every one of us. Hosted by me, Zach Day, in partnership with Kenect Nashville. How do you connect? How do you connect? Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. Another week here, coming to you live from Kenect Phoenix. My name's Zach Day. This is Kenect the Dots. You know by now what we do here, okay? We talk to cool people who have cool stories, and we just share how we're all connected here on this planet and wherever else we may be. Intergalactic, okay? I don't know. It's all over, okay? It's all over the place here. Today, I have a very special guest. My friend April Fisher is here. Hi, April.
Hi, Zach.
Thank
you so much for having me.
Of course. No, this is going to be awesome. We're going to have fun. We're just going to talk a little bit about who you are, how you are connected, if you will, no pun intended, and just, you know, everything in the world of April. So for those of you who may not know April, I'm going to allow her to introduce herself. Tell us a little bit about who you are, where you come from. Tell us just, you know, the bullet points, but yeah, I want to know.
All the things.
All the things, yeah.
Well, I'm April Fisher. I teach yoga at Kenect Nashville every Sunday, 10 a.m. And just recently we added another class on Tuesday nights, but that might change again for the fall schedule. But I'm very flexible as
Literally?
a yoga instructor. Well,
that's what that yoga will do for you.
it sure will. But you should come try class.
Oh, I would love to. No, like definitely.
I would love to travel to Phoenix if you ever need a demo out that way.
Okay, we're gonna make that happen.
I've never been.
Girl, Phoenix, I'm loving it. It's been really fun. I've only been here about a month now, but it's been really, it's been awesome.
It's very zen, like where you are. Like, I love the green. It's very, like, soothing, comforting.
Oh, man, Phoenix, I feel like, and Arizona as a whole is just very that. It's very, like, peaceful. Everyone's kind of like in their yoga and they're like,
it does fit into the yoga realm. Right. And your voice is so soothing too. I'm like,
thank you.
It is. I feel like I have to turn mine down a notch. I'm like excited to be here. So I'm like not using my yoga voice. I'm using my interview voice.
Okay. No, give us the energy. I have had, well, I mean, I'm a singer, so I'm like constantly like performing and singing, but I try to talk in this tone where it doesn't like hurt my vocal cords.
Yes, and you gotta save those.
I've been having some vocal trauma because it's so dry out here. Mm-hmm. It's been crazy, but anyway, so yeah, April teaches yoga.
Hydrate. Lots of hydration.
I've been drinking. Well, right now I got coffee.
Cheers. Cheers.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
So yeah, April teaches yoga at Kenect Nashville. I don't know, did you have like a practice, or do you currently have a practice outside of what you're doing at Kenect, or just your own personal practice, or what?
I'm sorry, it just froze for a second there. But now you're back. Can you ask that again?
Yes.
Sorry.
I was just asking if you had a personal practice for yoga, or if you teach yoga outside of Kenect, or you know, how you're connected to yoga.
How I'm connected to Kenect with yoga.
Yeah.
And beyond.
Yeah, and beyond, of course.
In the world. So I've been a yoga instructor for a couple of years, and Kenect is one of my most favorite properties. I just kind of stumbled across it as I was leaving one property that was close by in Midtown Nashville. Kenect was looking for an instructor, and I just jumped at it. I absolutely love it there. I've had so much fun over the past. I've been there for over a year, building the class and just getting connected to all the folks there that are all fabulous, much like yourself.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so nice. So tell us a little bit about...
And I do teach I have other clients as well, but they're closer to where I live in Hendersonville.
Oh, okay. Well, I like Hendersonville. Mm-hmm. It's nice, and it's like close enough to everything. So if I ever move back to Nashville, I'll probably be living in Hendersonville, actually.
Yes, it is a very lovely area.
With yoga and fitness. And are you from Nashville? What's your story with that?
I am not from Nashville. I moved here in April of 2020. like
Okay.
in the beginning of the pandemic. It was pretty crazy. From right outside of the city of Pittsburgh, PA, a town
Nice.
called Coriopolis, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So I lived there my whole life. And in the beginning of the pandemic, my husband and I have four daughters. So we moved in the beginning of the pandemic and hit kind of
Wow.
like hit reset. And we
Just
all
and
started
was
to.
Nashville like on your? Was it like let's go to Nashville, or was it like well let's go see where we end up, and you ended up in Nashville? How did that happen?
So I think it's honestly, I think it was a calling. But I do think there are multiple things that led us here. So when I was a kid, I used to travel through this area, excuse me, with my auntie and uncle who lived in Lookout Mountain, Chattanooga. They also had some, they had property in Alpharetta, Georgia, Murphy, North Carolina, just like kind of. So I traveled through this area as a kid. I remember staying
Yeah.
at the Grand Ole Opry when I was 12 years old because my uncle was a pharmaceutical sales rep. So I would come with them like for 2 weeks in the summer. And I just remember traveling all through this area as a kid. And then I ended up living here um, all these years later. But I pretty much lived right outside of Pittsburgh my entire life. So this was a big, leap of faith. And we did it with all four of our daughters. And my oldest daughter is a singer-songwriter.
Oh no way.
So yeah, and then we popped down here when she was 13, and that's been some years ago already because she's 21. So that was 7 years ago. We kind of did a family trip, and then she started writing music,
Huh.
and this became our hub.
Yeah. Hey, that's a good
And
place
then,
for it.
mhm, yeah, it's great. And then my middle daughter is an actor, and so it's just a very creative, very welcoming town
Yeah. Yeah,
for
Nashville's
artists.
cool. I mean, Nashville is a good place for, like you said, for artists and for musicians
Hmm.
and just anyone that's creative. I mean, it's definitely got um, the music scene, of course, but then there's also like, yeah, like you said, there's opportunities for acting, modeling, anything that you want to do in entertainment. Nashville's starting to become a
So
really big hub
many
for that.
right. It just and it feels like home.
Yeah.
Like I finally feel like I'm at home because I'm who I want to be in life and my kids are following their path. Like we just all started to thrive when we got here just because it has a very welcoming sense of embracing creativity.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, like, so where you're from in near Pittsburgh, is it like the city or is it more country, like rural vibes?
It's the suburbs outside of the city.
Okay.
So
Yeah, because I know some people from around there, and we'll have to talk about that because I've been up there a few times, and yeah, Pittsburgh, interesting place. But I think Nashville's probably a little bit more like open-minded, maybe. I don't know.
yeah.
Maybe more like accepting of that kind of creativity and diversity and stuff like that.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
I
but
think
yeah.
so.
Well, I mean, that's the same for me. Like where I'm from in Kentucky, like when I came to Nashville, it's like culture shock. But still, I love Nashville too. But yeah, it's been awesome to be able to just like go from Nashville to here and then just
Amazing.
traveling and just figuring out where you're going to end up. I still don't know for myself, but we'll see.
There's a whole
um,
world out there.
yeah, that's true. And I love it.
You
I
know, you
love to
just I
travel.
never know where right. Yeah, it's all that's there's a lot to see, there's a lot to take in, so
Yeah.
you never know
Well,
what's gonna happen next.
exactly. So tell me about when you started yoga. Like, have you always done yoga your whole life? Did you just start it in adulthood or how did that work out for you?
So when I was a kid, I was a dancer and a gymnast, and I did every type of dance from point, ballet to tap to jazz gymnastics. And then as I got older, I kind of stuck with dancing and then I started playing sports. So I played softball and then I started running and doing lots of half marathons. And then I kind of got bored with that. So I started to do triathlons.
Whoa.
So then I just really, I tore my ACL. So I needed to find something that was going to work a little bit better. And with my experience in dancing and everything, I just kind of started to really lean into yoga. And then I found the peace that came with it. And then
Right.
I
So
found
then it's
teaching
that,
that to other people
right, right.
and seeing someone in a yoga class like take a minute to just breathe and let go of some stuff and just like roll your neck a little bit.
Right.
Just things that you don't normally do for yourself. I see their relief and it's like so rewarding.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And like, yeah, huge part of this podcast is just talking about trying to find ways to like self-care and just things to
Hmm.
do to like separate yourself, like a healthy work-life balance. Cause a lot of the people that I have on this podcast as guests are like super hustlers. Like they're always just like boom, 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 doing this, that, and the other. And I'm like, y'all, let's figure out what is it that you do to unwind. So I'll definitely ask you that at the end. But
Well, I worked yoga into my hustle.
exactly. That's the thing. Like, same with me. It'd be like,
That's kind of
oh,
what I did.
write a song or sing or something. And now I'm like, well, now that's my job. So I got to do something that's different than that. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Because
right.
I'll get burnt out, you know? Um, so you started doing yoga to combat your injury and try to just still stay physically active and stuff like that. And then, so I guess at first it was kind of like a way to stay physically active. And then you said you later discovered the meditative and the peace and the mind body
Hmm.
connection kind of thing.
Yes, the mind,
Um,
body, soul, like just it's so great for balance.
yeah, listen, I recently did a 30-day challenge. That's what I'm like, oh, maybe we could talk about you doing some sort of like challenge or something for Connect, cause I did a
I
YouTube,
would love to do that.
yeah, you would be amazing. But there's this YouTuber that does he does like a 30-day challenge, and I did the whole thing. And I loved it. And now I have a yoga mat and I'm like really into it. So like, yeah, we could talk about it for sure. But
Yes, it's
it's a very,
fantastic.
very fun, very relaxing, very meditative and spiritual kind of practice.
Hmm.
Um, how do you find yourself like integrating that sort of mindset in your everyday life because you want to stay in that kind of headspace?
I try to. I juggle a lot of different things.
Of
So,
course, naturally, we have hustlers on here.
always with the hustlers. So I have four daughters. My oldest is 21 and she's off doing her own thing, living with her boyfriend. She's in love and they are fabulous. And I'm so happy for her that
Yeah,
she found that connection and
right.
someone that, yeah, it's great.
Good, good.
So I'm thinking maybe, who knows, in the next 5 years, maybe there might be marriage. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Right.
See what happens. Not rushing anything. And then I have the 16-year-old, and then I have identical twin 14-year-olds. So Abby, Peyton, Ella, and Nora,
All girls? Oh my
all
gosh.
girls.
Wow.
So the twins play every sport together, volleyball, basketball, and softball. So they are running back and forth. And
Oh my
then the
goodness.
16-year-old just got her license, so she's been so helpful. And
That's
she's
good.
my actor. Her and I actually in a film together. So I also model and act and teach yoga and other dance fitness classes like Zumba. So,
Oh, fun. Wow. Yeah.
mhm.
So that being said, you probably need to take some time to do some yoga so that you can maintain that, you know, that peace because that's a lot. Four girls
It,
plus like all this
yeah.
other stuff. Woo.
And my husband owns this business. He's a home
Okay.
and you see here.
Yep. Vanna
For
White.
for you home inspection, if you are in the market to purchase a home or if you buy a home or and you need someone to look at it, either way, if you have a home in your life, he's a home inspector in Tennessee. So he started that business when we moved here, and he's been, speak of the devil, he's calling me. I thought I had it on Do Not Disturb.
Dang, that's crazy. No, I'm just kidding. It's okay. um,
But yes, so he started that when we moved here, which is just another amazing thing that our family has been, honestly thriving.
good.
It was like a calling coming here.
Wow. Yeah, that's so crazy that you were just like, you know what, let's go to Nashville. Let's see like how we can just pick up our lives and see what happens. And now you're like,
Hmm.
you're enjoying it a lot. So that's good. I mean, I moved, it's funny, I moved to Nashville like March of 2020. So we were getting there like around the same time.
Hmm.
And actually, so like, yeah, I had been there like a week or two, and then yeah, the pandemic started. It was so crazy, but you
It
know,
was. It
we
was
made it. We made
crazy.
it out of here.
We did make it.
Um,
I feel like
so
we didn't take that much time off either. Like it was good.
yeah, no, definitely. It was
We kept on living.
constantly hustling. You know how it is.
Hmm.
um, yeah, well, that's okay. Uh, so then but you've been doing yoga this whole time, right? Like you were doing it before you came to Nashville and stuff. So,
Yeah. Hmm.
I like always wonder about yoga certification and training to become a certified yoga instructor and stuff like that. Like, how was that experience for you? I mean, like I've heard of people being like, "Oh, I went to like India and I like got like this crazy experience." And then I've heard people be like, "I had to take all these classes and it really tested me." Like, I'm just curious how you decided and how that went for you.
I think that there's so many different programs out there.
Yeah.
So there's different things that, you can do online and different studies that you can take and get certifications and then, insurance. But I've
Yeah.
been a teacher for so long that it just kind of came very naturally to me
Yeah.
to kind of build a practice that works well for people because I kind of take an assessment in the beginning to see where everyone is and what they're needing because I want to build something that works for everyone.
Yeah.
And I actually teach teachers too. So, and I was a high school teacher for like 14 years, and I also taught college in Pittsburgh before we moved to for a couple of years. So,
So you just have that
yeah.
natural, that teaching kind of spirit and just sharing. You have that already instilled in you. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and then I
Yeah.
just added the yoga part to it, and it just was fine,
Right.
and it worked. It works.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, hey, it's always good to share, what you feel like if you benefited from it, then you're like, I'm going to share this and let other people benefit from this as well. Um, do you know if there are any common misconceptions about yoga that you often encounter? I mean, for me, I know like growing up, I kind of heard that yoga was, I mean, I'm from a very conservative part of the country, so it's like yoga, oh, is that like worshiping the devil or
Oh,
like stuff like that, like for real, because it's so spiritual. And
oh.
yeah, so that was and I always thought, oh, it's just like, it's not a good workout, it's just stretching, it's very woo woo, that kind of thing. Like, I don't know if you have ever encountered any misconceptions about it.
Like the bachelorette parties,
Yes.
woo woo, that kind of thing.
Like
Um,
woo, no more like not like woo, but more like woo woo, like we're up
uh,
here, like yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think it just depends on what when people are coming to the class with. If
Right.
they come in with their idea and what they want, and sometimes we can meet in the middle, and sometimes we can't. I just think it's really about what the individual's looking for. So I try to build the flows to kind of meet the needs of who's in front of me at the time. But yeah, during the larger classes, like events especially, people will come in that are, very regular in their practice, but everyone that's there is not a regular practicing.
Right.
So I have to build something that works for the middle. And sometimes like people want to go further, and sometimes people can't go further
Yeah.
just because they don't have the flexibility or they're new to it or they're just
Yeah.
still learning. Honestly, one of the biggest things is when people realize that they can breathe to relax their body, it allows them to get more flexible because as you relax, you can reach a little further.
Yeah.
As
On
long
the
as you're
exhale.
you're yeah, as long as you're breathing through it. And
Yeah.
I just think another thing is listening. I always tell everybody, make sure you listen to your body. And
Yeah.
yoga will help you get more in tune with your body.
Yeah. And you don't have to force anything. I mean, like from the yoga that I've done, which is, I mean, not that much, but still like, 30 days plus more
30 days
in a
like
row.
is a lot.
Yeah. And, I got so much better. Even by the end of that, I was like, oh my God, I'm so much more flexible. I can do a headstand now. I don't know if I could still do it, but I was able to do like a headstand by the end of it. And I was like, okay,
Hmm.
I'm amazing at this. Like, seriously.
Right? The more you practice, the better you get at it and the better you feel. And
And
the
dude, I would be
more,
sweating. I would
oh
be
yeah.
getting a good workout because, or I would do like, I would go run because I like to run too. So I'd go run a couple of miles and then I would do yoga and I'd be already like sweaty and stuff. And I'd be like, oh my gosh, this is just, it was really good. But yeah, definitely a workout. People don't realize it's harder than it looks, I think.
Oh yeah. Especially when it's outside in the blazing heat.
Yeah, and isn't there like, okay, so what's the difference between just like yoga class and then like a hot yoga? Because isn't hot yoga like, is it essentially yoga in a sauna or what? Like, I don't know. I've
Yeah,
never done
I
it.
used to go to Hot Works, which
I've seen
you might
that.
like that.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. It's just like a
It's,
really hot room and they do yoga in there.
yeah, you get your own personal booth, and then there's a virtual
Oh,
instructor.
oh, okay. So
Or
it's
you
not
could
like,
just like listen to your AirPods and like do your own thing.
yeah,
You can really, you just book the session and it's 24/7. I should be a spokesperson.
right? You're like not sponsored.
Not sponsored. How it works.
Um, And the other thing too is that yoga has this like so many, like you said, like there are beginners, and it can go from beginner to like way advanced, and but
Oh,
there
yeah.
are ways to modify, yoga poses and stuff like that. But it's just a learning experience, I think, and eventually, if you just go into it with an open mind, I feel like you could come out and be like, okay, that was actually really enjoyable. Because I could see people
Hmm.
getting nervous or being like a little bit intimidated at first if you've never done yoga before and you go to a yoga class for the first time and it's like, do I have to have a mat? Do I have to have a block? Like, is this teacher going to give me any sort of one-on-one interaction, or you know what I mean? So,
I've been to those types of classes, like those boutique type of classes where you can get that feeling when you go in.
yeah.
I think it just, once again, is all depending on what you're looking to get out of it. And
Yeah.
I think environment is a lot to do with it too. You want to be able to do it in a space that makes everyone comfortable and relaxed.
Well, yeah, I mean, and speaking of that, like, I have a question here that says, how do you create a safe and inclusive environment in your classes? Is there anything you can speak on to that?
That is such an interesting question because I'm going to go ahead and speak freely that sometimes you will get someone in class that just kind of goes off on a path and you have to figure out how to make sure it doesn't become a distraction.
Yeah, I bet. Oh my gosh.
So that's always fun to wrangle.
Right, right. But like, say
I'll
it's
just
like,
like bring because there's different tempos and flows. Like at Connect, we started to do, and it was Kate, she's
yeah,
fabulous.
yeah,
She was like, what about like a hip hop yoga flow? And I was like, yes, game on. And so we just found like instrumental, beats. And I do more of an up tempo flow. And also we'll sometimes like add some 5 pound weights.
oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
So it's a full workout
Um,
then too.
yeah. So it just depends but sometimes it just depends
Yeah.
if the class environment is harmonious and it's not an issue, we just move through and have an amazing workout. But sometimes if something becomes a distraction, you kind of have to figure out how to pivot. And I think my years in teaching have helped me with that.
Right. Oh, 100%.
So I've in age range taught, from toddler to like in your 60s
Wow.
of yoga. And so I just think with different age ranges, but yoga can be such a blend
Right. No, for
because you
sure.
really don't know. And I'm sometimes just not a good judge of age. I feel like everyone looks so young now.
Yeah, me too. I swear I'm the same way. Well, yeah, and I'm curious too, like with a lot of people who teach physical fitness or personal trainers or yoga, whatever. How do you find time in your schedule to have your own practice? Like, do you work out
It's
and do yoga every day, or like what's your workout routine, I guess?
so my workout routine really depends on when my kids give me the time to fit it in.
Yeah.
But usually, I'm teaching anywhere from like 5 classes a week. So at
Mm.
least I know that my minimum workout is going to be those 5 classes a week. But I usually go before each class and get a
Wow.
workout in before I teach the class.
That's
I like
impressive.
to do like a half an hour of just like some weights and band work, um, abs, dance. Actually, I will go into Connect on a Sunday morning and blast some music and just dance. No
Yeah.
one's
In
there.
those
Yeah,
mirrors.
yeah, very flash dance.
Okay. I love it. It's very Britney Spears on her Instagram. That's me. Seriously too.
Oh my gosh, I know. Poor,
Love it.
poor Brittany. Everyone hates on her, but I think she's. I mean, let her
Hey,
do her thing. Let her do
it's
her
it's
thing.
hashtag free Britney here on this podcast. In
So
my
there was
opinion.
this one video that she posted, and like as a dancer from years ago, but I still do.
Oh yeah.
Um, there's this video of her dancing, and she's like crying, and she's having like an emotional
Oh,
release.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Well, I've seen that happen to people in yoga,
Definitely.
where they're just like letting it all out because
Yeah. Okay.
that's their moment to be able to do that. It's so emotionally freeing if you let it
Right.
be.
Right. That's what I was about to ask you about. Is like, do you have any memorable experiences or stories with people that maybe you've interacted with or taught in a class or something where it's been like something like that, like oh, like something just released, like this stress or this emotion just came out. I don't know. I'm curious about that. If you have anything specific you can remember.
So I myself have like experienced that. So it allows me to kind of recognize when somebody else kind of needs it,
Yeah.
and I can tell their energy when they're entering the class. And like, once you start teaching for a while, like you get to know one another and it also becomes like therapeutic.
Yeah. It's
And
amazing.
so, yeah, I would see people kind of just take that minute like for themselves and just like let go of some stuff.
What do you think it is? Like, do you think it's just like, do you think it's like the physicality of like a certain pose or a certain pressure point? Or do you think it's more of like this, just taking a moment to really connect with your emotions in like a silent space? Or what do you think it could be that makes people have that sort of reaction?
I think it's all of those things combined with the mind, body, soul aspect. Like as human beings, we're taught to like put this face on every day and go out and live amongst the masses. But when is the last time that you did something personal for yourself? Like just thought about breathing in through your nose and exhaling and letting
Right.
go of, like, we carry so much stress on our bodies.
Yeah.
So if we can recognize it and let go of it, it just also lets go of maybe some emotional trauma even. I just think as humans, if you create a safe space and people are okay with just closing their eyes in front of you, sometimes
Right.
people won't do it.
Yeah.
And I can understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very vulnerable too.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It's kind of interesting too, just how that works. But I mean, yeah, I've noticed that too. Just taking that time to just kind of look inward for just like a minute is something that we don't do these days. So
Well,
it's
it's
necessary.
everyone's hustling.
Yep, exactly. Um, Wow, yeah, that's so interesting. I love yoga. I'm gonna continue to do it for as long as I can. I mean, it's something that's important to me. That's one of those things that I do to kind of just unplug for a little bit. And so, yeah, a big part of this podcast is just kind of figuring out what y'all do at the end of the day when it's time for April to have like, give me 20 minutes, give me an hour to just do something that's, you know, relaxing, Something for yourself. What do you do? What's your piece?
I'm a 10-minute Epsom salt bath kind of girl.
Love that. Great answer. Yeah, we've had
Just
somebody else
10
on here say
minutes.
that. Yeah.
That's all I need. Just 10 minutes.
And you just kind of soak, or do you like read or listen to anything, or are you just kind of like in silence for a few
I
minutes?
just try to take the 10 for me.
That's all you need.
Yeah, just 10. I'll put some music
Wow.
on. It depends on what kind of mood I'm in.
That's better than me. I'm like, I require like the entire evening to just like put my feet up, read. Like,
Oh, I wish I could get an entire evening.
I know. I mean, yeah, that's probably true. You probably only have 10 minutes to spare. I'm like, nobody talk to me. I'm turning my phone off. I'm going to my room. Like, I'm just going to relax.
Well,
Um,
Walmart has a very great selection of Dr. Teal's Epsom salt. There's so many. These glasses keep glaring.
that's
I'm gonna
okay.
just take them off. I'm warning you
We're
though.
almost at the end here.
I cannot see.
Oh, no.
I have to make sure at yoga I put the music on and then take my glasses off.
Okay, because then you'll be pressing all kinds of buttons.
And they don't, who knows.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so the 10-minute Epsom salt bath. Do you have anything? So, you've only been in Nashville for a few years at this point. Um, uh, have you found anywhere that you guys like to go? Because I always try to give like recommendations on this podcast too, because we recently got, we were named one of the top best podcasts in Nashville, like local podcasts. And I was like, oh, that's amazing. So
Game on.
yeah, crazy.
You're fabulous. That's why. And so is Kenect, honestly.
Right.
I love teaching there. I love the community aspect
Yeah.
of it. I've done
Yeah.
multiple photo shoots there, and they asked me to be in some of their advertising recently. So
Heck
it's
yeah.
just a really great vibe there.
It's
The
just a
people are
good,
amazing.
yeah, and it's just a good way to meet people that are like going to do things, other hustlers, people who are just out here. Like, yeah, it's overall a good place. But there's people who listen to this podcast who may be thinking about moving to Connect or moving to Nashville or Phoenix even too. So I have some
Oh,
Phoenix
I
people here
would say
too. But
do it. Do
yeah,
it.
and do you have any places of like, I don't know, have you found like a favorite restaurant, favorite place to go get drinks, favorite place to go do anything like that, like around you that you could recommend? Because look, I love food, so I'm always going to talk about food on here. But
I do like the hot chicken.
okay,
You
okay,
know,
little Hattie B's,
we've tried a bunch of different places. I don't know.
Prince's hot chicken. I know they're really
I
good too.
worked in, I worked for Big Machine for a
Oh,
while.
nice. Okay,
So I was on Third Avenue, and
right
I
down
also
there.
worked briefly at the 1230 Club. So I went from Third Avenue to the
To
top of Broadway.
yeah, Justin Timberlake's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I kind of experienced Broadway through working there, I guess.
How was that?
Um,
I'm scared of Broadway. I'm like, no,
it was interesting. It
I
was
can't
definitely
do it.
interesting.
I'm like, no, thank you.
I
It's
had
not fun.
fun. So I was a tour guide for Big Machine at the distillery. So
Nice.
I would get the bachelor parties and bachelorette parties, and so like some of them were fun.
Oh Lord, yeah. I mean, I bet you met a lot of interesting people
Yes.
there. Okay, well, that's about all the questions that I had for you today. I just wanted to introduce you to the listeners, and if you don't mind, before we go again, just tell us when you are having classes at Connect, and if we can find you online on Instagram or your website or anything like that. Just give us all the shout outs real quick.
All right. So I am on Instagram, Fisher A, Fishera. My last name twice, my first initial, I don't know why. It's so old. I just retold it.
Right.
My website is also on that Instagram link. I have classes at Connect on Sundays, every Sunday in Nashville, 10 a.m. And we have a Tuesday class going right now, but I think the schedule might change for the fall. And then we're looking forward to potentially adding some more things. And I would love to develop a workout series or YouTube channel for Connect, just for the Connect residents.
Yeah. I think that would be awesome. I mean, hopefully they'll let us do that, because then you could do it you could even do that, and the people from Kenect Phoenix could take your class from home, from here. You know what I
Right.
mean?
And it could be like 20-minute morning stretches to 1 hour yoga classes.
Heck yeah. Hey,
We
I
can add
support that.
weights and band. There's so many things,
Yeah.
all the things.
I love that. Okay, well,
And
that's
I
gonna
love
do
that
it.
new marketplace in Nashville.
Right? I
It's
know.
so nice.
I got to see it like right before I moved here, and I was like, dang, I wish I would have had this the whole time because they had good coffee, little things. So I think they're gonna try to do something like that here too, but I don't know. I mean, we'll see.
That
Nashville
lobby's
is
great. That would be a great
right.
space for a Zumba class or like a line dancing aerobic type of class.
Heck yeah.
Just right, the lobby's so beautiful. In
Yes.
Midtown with all that activity, people would walk past to see it. Like, what's happening
Yes.
there?
They do. They used to do, I don't know if they have had it in a while, but they used to do like concerts down there in that lobby with like sound set up and around. It was so nice. I was like, okay,
Oh,
yeah,
really? I've never
yeah,
seen them in the lobby, just on the seventh floor where the pool
yeah,
is.
up at the pool. But yeah, they did them in the lobby for a while, and it was like a ticketed event. People would come. They had
Wow.
food and drinks and had a bar set up down there. So yeah, they could definitely do it. We're gonna figure something out, I think, for sure.
Well, now that we're connected,
And now that we are connected, I don't know if I can pull any strings. I'm gonna be like, hey guys, let's make this happen. Let's get
I
April
think
to
you're doing
Phoenix.
pretty well with your podcast. Well, I mean, look at you in Phoenix going with
Hey,
your podcast. You look
exactly.
amazing,
You never know where you're gonna end up, especially when you're
right?
like me and you. You know what I mean? Let's just go with the flow. See what happens. The
See
flow,
what's next.
the yoga flow.
Yes. The flow.
All right, y'all. Well, that's gonna do it for us here at Connect the Dots podcast. Be sure to follow April at Fisher A, and then be sure to follow me at Zach. Check out Kenect Nashville and Kenect Phoenix, both respectively at Kenect Nashville, at Kenect Phoenix. And that's it. See you guys next week. Bye.
Thank you, Zach.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Bye.